Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of R&D Garage. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for liking, and sharing my videos, as well as all my subscribers who have been there since the beginning. I love you guys. Okay, well this week, actually you guys remember last week's video where we were working on the Mini and it was fun but frustrating, but we kept at it. We are continuing this. So the last couple days I was here kind of organizing all the Mini wiring, and we are finally ready to start plugging stuff in. So follow along and we're gonna get going. Okay guys, well we're gonna start with 3 different wires right now. The first one is the rear cooling fan, and basically this is just kind of a plug-in like this. You do kind of have to force it a little bit because it'll be a tight fit. There we go. Okay, and the next one is the coolant temperature sensor. So this goes on, I already had to take off the nut and washer, which was on just because we didn't want to lose them. So I took those 2 off. I am going to connect the sensor cable thing here and put the washer on, and then the nut. And this is the part where you're like, don't drop anything. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and then there it is. Here's the ground for the temperature sensor. And so I actually have to take off the screw here. There we go. So we're gonna line it up like this. And this kind of sucks. It's so tiny, even with my hands, it's kind of hard to get in. So actually, what am I doing here? Put the screw through the hole and then go ahead and there we go. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to move on. Okay, now we're moving on to the main engine harness plug and the charging plug. So these are pretty easy. This one, they actually both kind of do this, but they plug in like this until, of course, everything is so cramped. Okay, you should hear a click, and then we'll get the charging. Yeah, that one was a nice click. This one, it's not quite cooperating. There we go. Okay, it was a soft click. Whew. Now it's time to plug in all the sensors. So we're going to start with this guy here. And plug this in, and they should all snap into place like the other one. This guy goes up here, and all the wiring is super short, so there we go. I saw the clip bend in like that, so that's good. And now this green one back here. Ooh, I like it when they make that click. Okay, that was all 3 sensors. Moving on. Okay, so now the alternator charging. So that just slips on like that. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And I'm going to put the nut on. There we go. Down, perfect. And then this should slide over to cover it. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to throw in the distributor. And the good thing about this is I labeled it before, or when I pulled it off last time. So I'm going to make sure that these line up perfectly. And then I also marked on the distributor itself where the plug wires, which one is supposed to go. So this is good. Always a good idea when you're tearing down an engine to basically label things. So, okay, full disclosure, I've already tried to film this 5 times because putting the bolt on really freaking sucks. You'll notice it's a slot rather than a straight in hole. So that in itself is causing a lot of stress right now, but we're going to power through because the goal at the end of the day is to actually turn her over on camera. we'll see how that goes. Okay, and another thing, don't bang this around because obviously it's delicate. So we're going to go ahead and fit this in here again. And there we go. So make sure it sits flush. And now I'm going to take this bolt and try to get it in the hole at the first shot. I think. Come on. Oh, I got it. Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay, so I'm not gonna tighten it up super tight, but just so it holds it, because there are two more bolts, and one goes down here, and this one, yeah, that one goes right in because it's easy. Okay, that sounds funny. And now I'm going to put in the bottom one, which is an absolute put your own term in. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. I have to come all the way down here and oh my gosh, how is this even going to freaking work? Okay, so let's, oh. Yeah. Oh, caught it. Okay, oh, you know what? I can actually, yeah, no, let's stop. Okay, so 3 takes later, I've discovered it is a lot easier to get in there with a short extension. And yeah, so let's do this. And also keep your magnetic tool handy because when these drop, they don't usually fall to the ground. Okay. Let's take this again. So remember, it's right down below there. So I am going to reach down here. Oh, and I did it again. Okay. Oh my God. This is just, there we are. Gone fishing. Okay. Round 2. Or 5. Okay, let's reach around here again. And you know we like our bloopers here. Okay, now I think it went right in. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Of course, this is a short extension. I have to really reach. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's put on some plugs, shall we? Okay, before we put on the plug wires, we're going to go ahead and tighten up these bolts. So I'm going to use an open-ended wrench on this one. And I'm doing this one first just so the lines stay aligned, and I know it's tightened. So that's good right there. Okay, I'm going to take my ratchet and I'm going to do this bolt next. That's nice and tight. And now I'm going to do my favorite bolt underneath here. I've already, hair in the eyes here. I've already asked Dee. I'm just, you know, everybody knows if you've worked on cars, there's always a car that kind of makes you cry a little bit. I've already been to that point and back. And so I'm currently asking Dion to give me something unbreakable to throw after this whole shoot is over. Because I'm going to need it. Actually, boxing. I'm going to go for a boxing session. Okay, these are tight. Let's go ahead and put on the plug wires. So the number 2 one is kind of the hardest one to put on. So I'm going to start with that one, and then I'm going to go to number 1, number 3, and finish off with number 4. And as you can see, I labeled them here, and they're also labeled on the wires themselves. So let's go ahead and put number 2 on first. And another thing, these are obviously metal on the other side, so you don't want to lean them against the car because you'll scratch. So let's go ahead and put on number 2. Okay. There's number 2. Now we're going to put on number 1. we go. That one right on. Awesome. Okay, now number 3, which is this guy right here. And I'm going to get number 4 ready. There we are. Perfect. It's like crunched my wrist. Okay, and number 4. And that one's basically already in position here. Okay, Minnie, you're getting so close. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and make this look a little bit more pretty, and then we'll move on. Okay, so now we're going to tighten down our starter cable and battery cable, and also the 2 distributor plugs right here. And just a note, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but always make sure your battery is disconnected when you're doing any sort of wiring whatsoever. So away we go. Okay, so this I already put on, whoops, the ground there. And now I'm going to put on this washer and the nut. And I'm just going to finger tighten for now. I'll go back. And now these clips, and again, these should just snap right in. Well, that one didn't snap, but it is all the way in. This guy. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up and be right back. Okay guys, now we're going to put the air filter on. So that goes right here. And I'm going to tighten the clamp. Make sure it's in place. We're gonna see what we can do about some fluids here. Okay guys, well, we're almost done. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tire back on, and I'm just gonna ratchet the lug nuts on for now. Once it's on the ground, I'll go ahead and torque them into place. So let's go. Again, I'm glad this is a little guy. First, I'm going to place each one on. Finger tighten. Stagger these. Oh. Once you get the other 2 tightened, the other ones prove how much they're still kind of loose. There we go. Okay, let's set her on the ground. Okay guys, so I checked everything at least 3 times. I had Dee look over my shoulder, check a couple things. Always super important to do if you're working on a car that you haven't worked on in a while, just to make sure everything is safe. I checked the fluids, added some coolant. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I reconnected the battery cable, and I also turned her over 1 click just to kind of prime the fuel pump. So, moment of truth. Let's see if this baby starts up. Please. Okay. Okay, she's in neutral. So we'll continue working until she's drivable. Obviously she has no headlamps right now, so we're gonna go ahead and fix that next. But wow, okay. Right now I just kind of want to get on my skateboard and do about 50 laps around the parking lot just to clear my head and not be so wound up. But I want to thank you guys for coming on this journey with us. Thank you to all my new subscribers here at R&D Garage, all my older ones as well. I'm like so up in the air right now. I'm like speechless. But anyway, we will continue working on this car. We'll continue to give you guys updates, but I'm very excited right now. This is awesome. And stay tuned for a midweek iPhone update and then another published video at the end of next week. Take care, you guys. Decompressing.